secrets about my age or my origins at this stage. First of all, I'd like to congratulate GLEN on the production of this guide. It's an excellent piece of work, both in terms of presentation and in terms of content. And I look forward to seeing more people getting to use this and to benefit from it. I was also delighted that IBM had the opportunity to participate in its production. Now, as Kieran said earlier, IBM has a long history in terms of diversity. Back in some of what I'll instance now may sound a little quaint in the context of today, but if you remember the times when some of these things happened, you can see how progressive IBM has been. In 1953, Thomas Watson stated that people would be hired based on their ability, regardless of race, colour or creed, which at the time was, that was a fairly progressive thing to do. I can remember when sexual orientation was added to the anti-discrimination policy within IBM in 1984. Now, again, we need to remember just how much society has changed back then. I was thinking about it. When I joined IBM, even though we're a technology company, we didn't have a PC on every desk or a terminal on every desk. We didn't even have a phone on every desk. They were shared, but we had an ashtray on every desk. And I think that just shows you how much society has changed in the past number of years. One of my memories of that was, yes, there was an element of additional comfort to know that sexual orientation was now explicitly included in a non-discrimination policy. That said, I already had the feeling of confidence of knowing that I would be treated as an individual, and not discriminated against. The explicit statement was an additional area of comfort. But in context, in the Irish context, that was a decade before the decriminalisation legislation here, and a long time before some of the very progressive equality legislation that has been introduced here in more recent years. One thing, as well as adding sexual orientation in 1984, we broadened that out to cover the full spectrum of GLBT, gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgendered, in 2002. What I'd like to have a quick look at is, referring back to the guide, the section where you focus on making it happen. I think that's, for me, that's one of the most powerful parts of the guide. It talks about specific activities that can be undertaken by organisations. What's good about it is that they're progressive. You don't have to do everything all together day one. You can start with the more important or the more urgent issues, and you can plan for some of the other issues to happen over time. I think that's part of what makes it such a useful guide. Looking at some of the areas that it covers creating a culture of respect, which I would link in with the idea of tackling bullying and harassment. In that, I think those two are two linked issues, both of which are very important. From the idea of, there are studies that have been done to say that productivity has helped, teamwork has helped, when people don't feel that they have to, in some way, conceal part of what they are. And I mean, it's a reflection on today's society. I know at work I don't have to worry about it. But I equally know that out in society, it can still happen today that a casual gesture of affection in the wrong place at the wrong time can have difficult or tragic consequences for someone. So the idea is that in an ideal world, being GLBT would not be an issue. And I'm not talking about in a don't ask, don't tell sort of way, but in a so what? It's just part of what I am, part of what a colleague is. And that's what allows people to then fully participate in bringing their skills and their abilities to their work and to fully participating in teams.